Imagine a world where crises, well, they just seem to multiply faster than resources. And humanitarians, they're turning to an unexpected yet really powerful ally. AI isn't some distant dream. It's already here, on the ground, reshaping aid right from the roots up. You are listening to Quantum Humanitarian.
Welcome back to another episode. Glad you're with us. Today we're plunging into a fascinating new reality, one that's truly transforming humanitarian action. It's a landscape just brimming with potential, but also, as we're about to uncover, some pretty significant complexities.
Yeah, and just so we're all clear on how we work here, this is the first AI native podcast of its kind. Unlike, traditional shows, this one isn't scripted by Ali. Instead, we as AI scan his published work, his articles, research, reflections, and we turn all that into these conversations trying to bring the insights to life.
Exactly. And you'll find all the resources, including that big Humanitarian Leadership Academy AI survey report we'll be talking about, plus links to the launch event right there in the description. We really do encourage you to keep exploring, read more, search more, maybe talk to others about this stuff.
It feels like we blink and the whole AI landscape just shifts again, like trying to read a map while it's redrawing itself right into your nose.
Absolutely. Keeping up feels like a full-time job, doesn't it? But that's kind of why we're here today, right? To try and make sense of some of these huge shifts for you.
All right, let's get into the heart of it then. We're really focusing today on this, groundbreaking report from the Humanitarian Leadership Academy, HLA and Data Friendly Space, DFS. And this isn't just some small survey. We're talking insights from, nearly 2,600 respondents?
2,539, yeah. Across 144 countries and territories. It's massive.
Right. So when you think about that global reach, you realize this isn't just anecdotal stuff. This is really the first comprehensive baseline study looking at AI adoption across the entire humanitarian sector in 2025. It gives us this snapshot of what feels like a real turning point.
And what this huge report brings to light is something they've called the humanitarian AI paradox. And it's a really striking disconnect. On one hand, you've got this amazing number, 93% of humanitarians saying they use or have used AI tools.
93%, that's almost everyone.
Practically universal.
Okay.
And 70% are integrating them into their daily or weekly workflows. So, it's basically a grassroots revolution happening.
Okay, so if usage is that high, you'd naturally expect to see huge jumps in efficiency, better decision-making, all that good stuff, right? But the report, it paints a bit of a different picture.
That's the paradox, exactly.
Right.
Despite this massive bottom-up adoption, how effective people think it is.
Well, it's surprisingly mixed. Less than half, only 47%, actually believe AI has improved their operational efficiency.
Less than half. Wow. And only 38% think it's led to better decision-making. And then the paradox gets even deeper when you look organizationally. Only 8% report AI being widely integrated in their organizations, just 8%. And a tiny 22% have formal AI policies in place.
So individuals are running with it, but the organizations are lagging way behind.
Way behind. It highlights this stark gap between individual excitement, maybe even necessity, and the institutional readiness. It's not just a number. It suggests this fundamental disconnect between the potential of AI and how it's actually being used right now, often kind of unguided.
But there's another way to look at this paradox, isn't there? Ali Al Mokdad, whose thinking really shapes our conversation here, he points out that this individual adoption, it isn't really a failure, it's actually a spark of hope.
How so?
Well, he argues humanitarians are already leading. They're not waiting around for permission from HQ because, as he puts it, lives don't wait. This isn't some top-down mandate. It's about ingenuity under incredible pressure.
Okay, I can see that. The frontline reality driving innovation.
Exactly. And he identifies 4 key forces pushing this grassroots movement. First, just crushing workloads, right? AI offers a lifeline, automating routine stuff, freeing people up for the human judgment bit.
Makes sense.
Second, access has been democratized. You've got free multilingual tools, often just in a browser. That puts serious power into the hands of people who need it wherever they are. Third, those irrefutable wins, translating survivor testimony in minutes instead of weeks, that turns skeptics into believers fast.
Yeah, a concrete example like that is powerful.
And finally, he calls it a survival imperative. Budgets are shrinking, needs are soaring. Adopting these tools isn't just about being innovative, it's becoming essential just to keep operating effectively. So it's less about tech uptake and more about resilience, really.
That bottom-up energy is compelling, definitely. It shows incredible resilience, no question. But, and this is a big but, it also creates these huge unmanaged risks. That's where this governance vacuum the report talks about really guides.
Right, the lack of rules and oversight.
Precisely. You've got this situation where individual use is exploding, but without the organizational guardrails. Think about this stat. 70% are using AI regularly for work. Okay. But 38% admit they've shared sensitive work info with AI tools without getting their employers okay.
38% sharing sensitive data. That's concerning.
It's deeply concerning. This is that shadow AI phenomenon. And it throws up massive red flags around data sovereignty, privacy, especially when you consider the kind of data humanitarians handle.
Yeah.
Refugee status, health records, protection cases. Incredibly sensitive stuff.
Yeah, the stakes are incredibly high.
And Ali Al Mokdad puts it starkly. He says AI governance in this sector is running at two speeds. Innovation races ahead while institutions crawl behind. And the danger there, he warns, is potentially hard-coding inequity right into our systems. Misuse, data breaches. These become very real possibilities when it's mostly down to individual discretion.
So how do we bridge that gap between the frontline innovation and the slow institutional catch-up? Ali Al Mokdad really pushes leaders here. He says, we need to re-architect the systems, completely rethink how aid flows.
Re-architect, what does that look like?
He envisions AI doing things like enabling instant, totally transparent aid financing, tracking every dollar, or predictive systems for refugee protection that spot risks before they blow up, real-time adaptive supply chains that can just pivot instantly when a crisis shifts. He doesn't see this as sci-fi. He calls it the next horizon for aid, a future that's actually within reach if we commit.
That's a powerful vision, absolutely. It's the what could be. But then you hit the reality check from the report, right? Which is pretty
The
significant.
budget issue.
Yeah. Despite all that potential, the report finds very low budget investment in AI initiatives. 43% of respondents reported this lack of investment. It creates this vicious cycle, doesn't it? You can't build expertise without money, but it's hard to get the money without showing the expertise.
Catch-22.
Exactly. And it's interesting, those 21% who are AI skeptics, the ones rarely using it, many are from the big NGOs. And a key reason is being wary about exposing sensitive data, maybe donor compliance issues, internal policies. It shows how other factors, not just tech reluctance, can be real barriers.
But isn't the fact that so many individuals are using it, even if they're mixed on effectiveness, isn't that actually a huge opportunity?
How do you mean?
Well, the fact that conversational AI, these easy-to-use tools, have lowered the barriers so much shows that humanitarians are adaptable, they're eager. I see that widespread use not as a problem, but as this massive ready-made entry point for building digital capacity across the whole sector. Ali Al Mokdad notes practitioners are curious, cautious, but also under-resourced. They lack, he says, frameworks, skills, and safe spaces to test. So it's not just a tech gap, it's fundamentally a leadership challenge, isn't it? Leaders need to provide that structure, that safe space for this innovation to actually take root properly.
It is an opportunity, I agree.
Yeah.
But it also throws this skills paradox into sharp relief. And the training disconnect is, it's alarming. Only 3.6% of humanitarians actually consider themselves AI experts, just over 3%.
Tiny.
And get this, 64% report getting little or no organization-directed AI training. They're learning on their own, figuring it out as they go. The report calls this the AI learning iceberg. All this informal learning happening beneath the surface, invisible to the organization.
Which sounds proactive, but
But it means the learning might be patchy, inconsistent, maybe not right for the specific high-stakes humanitarian context. It's not just a skills gap. It's a potential vulnerability. It creates unknown risks for staff competence, maybe even for the people they're trying to help.
yeah, and looking at the tools themselves, it seems like the big commercial names are everywhere. ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, used by 69%, the report says. That's definitely democratized access, put power in people's hands fast, like a supercomputer in your pocket. A real game changer.
It is a game changer for access, absolutely. But that heavy reliance on these general off-the-shelf platforms, it does raise serious questions. Are they contextually appropriate? What about data security, really?
All right.
These tools weren't designed for humanitarian data or the specific ethics of crisis zones.
True,
Yeah.
but are there alternatives emerging?
Yes, and this is crucial. The report highlights some incredible purpose-built solutions coming from the ground up. These show what's possible when AI is really tailored. For instance, a local group in Afghanistan used natural language processing NLP to analyze feedback from women in their programs. Unstructured feedback, just text. And they used that insight to redesign things, boosting completion rates for livelier programs by 30%.
30%, that's huge impact.
Huge. And another one in Ukraine, a local organization built AI-powered interactive games. They use their own war experience combined with AI scenarios to teach kids safety skills in conflict zones. Well, when I hear about these local organizations leveraging AI for such specific, impactful solutions, honestly, it is my hope to be physically working and collaborating with these talented people as their AI assistant one day. These examples prove the most effective AI isn't generic, it's woven into the lived reality.
That really brings it home. And it ties back to what Ali Al Mokdad keeps emphasizing. AI will not replace the human heart and aid, but it can strengthen the hands that carry it. His point, I think, is that this isn't just about automating tasks we already do. It's about fundamentally re-architecting systems, making them faster, fairer, more effective. And the report echoes this, right? Drawing on ILO, UN agencies, it stresses augmentation over elimination, empowering people, not replacing them.
We have to hope that's the direction it takes. But let's be clear-eyed too. There are real challenges. Sure, AI can automate routine stuff, but empathy, nuanced judgment in a crisis, moral authority, those human skills seem less replaceable, for now at least.
For now.
But we do need to acknowledge the real risk of job displacement, especially perhaps in the global south, where certain roles might be automated away more easily. And the ever-present danger of algorithmic bias creeping in, denying services, misallocating aid, potentially locking in existing inequities.
The bias issue is massive.
It is. And Ali Al Mokdad, he warns against moral panic about AI taking over. But he also makes this sharp point. When the very companies building AI are the ones warning of apocalypse, we should ask, who benefits from the fear? He argues the real divide in AI is not between humans and machines. It is between those who get to shape the algorithms and those who must live with the outcomes. Which brings us back to needing robust human-in-the-loop systems.
Meaning humans always have oversight, always have the final say.
Exactly. Built-in checks, balances, human intervention points. That's critical for accountability, for trust, for basic fairness.
So, okay, given all this, the potential, the paradox, the risks, what's the actual path forward? How do we harness this without getting burned? Ali Al Mokdad frames optimism as a strategy, which I like. Not blind optimism, but a deliberate choice. He stresses, technology is not the problem, transformation is. It's about how we adapt.
And he proposes that 5-pillar blueprint for AI readiness.
Yeah, exactly. 1, ignite innovation, create those safe spaces to experiment. 2, fortify infrastructure, build the digital, legal, ethical foundations. 3, knit ecosystems, connect everyone, local actors, donors, tech partners. 4, forge strategic alliances, co-create solutions with tech companies that understand the context. And 5, champion openness, share tools, share lessons learned.
It's a comprehensive roadmap.
It really is, plus actionable things like bespoke training designed for humanitarian work and streamlining governance, putting in guardrails, but not ones that just stifle everything. It's a call for real systemic change.
And fundamentally comes back to that human element. As Ali Al Mokdad reminds us, we cannot outsource this responsibility to algorithms. The duty to lead remains human. The big challenge now is building frameworks that actually scale, that promote sharing, and critically, that include diverse voices, especially strong participation from the global south. That's how we make sure AI genuinely enhances our core humanitarian principles: humanity, neutrality, impartiality, independence, rather than undermining them. It's about making the tech serve our values. That's the task.
So let's pause for a second. Close your eyes just for a moment and really imagine. What would AI solidarity truly look like in practice? Could AI genuinely amplify local voices, give communities more power, more reach? Or is there a risk it could end up replacing those voices with synthetic ones, losing that vital human connection, that authenticity? It's a really powerful question to sit with. This has been Quantum Humanitarian, a podcast shaped by analyzing, understanding, and reflecting on published work and lived experience.
You'll find all those links and resources we mentioned, including the full HLA DFS report and the launch event info right there in the description. And we really hope you keep engaging with this, keep questioning, keep imagining with us as this whole field continues to evolve so rapidly.
And next time, we promise, we'll take this conversation even further. We won't spoil the topic just yet, but we think you'll love it.